So it lives in the macroverse. The macroverse is the fifth dimension, right? So all the pure, perfect base elements are in the fifth dimension. If you get into a little bit about CERN, you'll see that. They find the classical music notes up there. I believe they're the pure base elements. That's where love is at. God is love. We're not God. We're not love. Okay, it's good to differentiate that. I'll get into why that is in a minute. But the fifth dimension is where it lives, which is a macroverse. It's like the Garden of Eden. So you'll meet it there, in the inner temple. This is all the inner temple stuff. And man doesn't command power over it in this way. The church doesn't. Nobody does. So basically, you would go in the inner temple. This is like the underworld, I guess. And you would go to the garden. Go back in time, which is like in and down to nothing. That's what you want to ultimately get. You want to get nothing and like it all the same. And that'll teach you unconditional content. You'll be able to connect with God through all of that which is above. The macroverse is the fifth dimension. Pure base elements are there. Once you're willing it, then you're doing the 5D manifestation. Now check this out. Remember back in spirit science when they're talking about 5D manifestation? That was all willing it. They were literally subverting people by giving willing it a different name. So you gotta, I go back and I see the truth in hindsight. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. So, you kind of walk into a trap. You could do that because you call things different names. It doesn't matter about the names. It doesn't matter the names you're calling. It matters about the mechanics. And that's kind of what the inner science deals in. So nobody out here, they see the memes that are like, if you give somebody power, that's the best way to like test them. I've seen all sorts of quotes like that. I want to show the difference between philosophy and then, how you can get different meanings from that. And they showed me this meme, so that like sparked me up instantly. And I feel like we learn instantly. And that school stifles all that to make learning seem like learning takes a while. But I think like we're flashed with something and we work in flashpoints. It's just like, wow, okay, that makes sense. And if everything makes sense, it'll just be like a fucking, whoa. And you could just put it on like a sigil. You could put that on a sigil and be like, so, I was talking about the inner science thing, which is like the inner temple. And that's where I go mostly and do like jihad with it. But you could will it out in the world and stuff like that. That's like witchcraft. When you're willing it over people. It's magic. They're talking about it's magic. That Ronald McDonald shit. So that's what that all is. You want to be careful with that. You want to be responsible because that's great power. It's almost bad that we learn stuff like this, but whatever. We're going full steam ahead. And what there is like a password game. It's talking about like blasphemy laws. Talking buzzwords and shit. All angry. And that's how you get you to marry the apple. Like, he would bitch about it to your face. And you would marry the apple. You would like marry all the power stuff down here. You would cling to it. Fucking turn on the black hole and be like like Kirby, and you'd be like, no, because it's not down here like that. The people that are all like, that's your opinion, man, and their one only truth is that there is no truth. One of those types where they're just running around with the warped circle, like trying to hand out this warped cracker, like, eat this, you better eat this, I want to start a cult, and all these Jim Jones type grunts. The inner science works to clear all that up and get rid of that. Like I said, it's a self-correcting system, and I put it in place. I've been watching this for like a while, putting together this whole science, and it's not about attitude. You don't want to let them sit there and poison you and stifle creativity out in the world and let them tell you, I don't like your attitude, blah, 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 because, that's a whole other thing. I'll get into that some other time, but there's a differentiation thing. where people can't differentiate their experience. So if you attack them, they can't differentiate inside them. They think they're the experience. They can't be like, oh, he means to attack my experience. So now we're on that plane. Then you can meet things on that plane. You can use all the rules of that plane, which I'll get into. You know, that's like what I want to open up a business doing. There's like a school. So do all this and then put in place like a sort of like business that deals in creation, just simple creation and whatnot. You know, there'll be like teachers and things like that. Because that's all they're doing anyway. They're not doing cults. That's like, you know, that's what you do if you're selfless. I guess you would make like a cult. People are attracted to it because you make it like a gravity. It's not a gravity. It's like a light, a beacon. People like are attracted to that. It's like a moth to a light, and so there's an inner science. You can tell people aren't differentiating. You can tell they'll reveal their hand in this way. I think Carl Jung used to do this. So you would test them in certain ways. If you attack them and they don't differentiate and they respond to that and react, then what you would be able to see is that they don't have their mind over matter. Now, if you have your mind, you don't want to go out and do this and not have your mind over matter. Because then you're lying to yourself, you're lying to them, you're putting poison out there. But if you can really back this up and do this, then by all means, like, go out there like Bruce Lee's saying in these videos that people are posting. It's like a skirmish. You know, a skirmish is intense. So I liked a lot of what Bruce Lee was saying about. I read a little bit about Jeet Kune Do, the stuff he was putting out, but I don't really read, like, ever. So, you'd be able to see a Messiah, or you'd be able to make crooked places straight with it. That way you can will it, and you can teach others how to do the same. So then you're not just, like, held for ransom by Nikes. It's just, like, throwing the shit in your face, so Will Smith can be like, ooh. So, all the Hollywood people can be like, yeah, da, 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 da. Because I tell you what, they're sitting there hiding that from everybody. And they're trying so hard. And I can't blame them for it because really it is. It's like, it's power. That's their power. They're going to lose, like, how they viewed power in, I guess, 100 or so more years. Because I guess that's what Adam Weishaupt probably set up in the Illuminati. It's like what we got going on here. So I don't know, maybe Jesus is real Illuminati, I don't know. Maybe the Messiah is real Illuminati. But this is what I'm saying, is there a password game in the inner temple. You can put all that into, like, you know, even a game. I'm going to put these into games and shit. You know, it's not like blasphemy laws. It'll be like games. You know, basically what we're doing now. So, but it just needs a little focusing. It's going in the right direction, and I can see all that of it. These people think they see it and they know it. They can see it. Yeah, I got the confession, but that's what I wanted. I just wanted to get the confession. I don't care that they want to do the same things with it. I think that's awesome. At the same time, I bitch about it, and it's a weird thing. And I tell you why that is at another time. But the more I reveal the magic and things like that, the more I sabotage myself. So I agree, I've been out here sabotaging myself, and that looks evil and everything else. But that's not what, I wasn't really going for like a reputation and everything. I got some posts a long time ago. I'm making karma against myself to give you guys these same realizations. That's like what it is. It's not that you mean to be a martyr. It's that it's a sacrificial, I guess, life to be a teacher or something. I don't fucking know. So that's kind of what I'm exploring, because you don't want to sit around and deal with people coming up in the next fucking 500 years. I'm the Messiah. I'm the Messiah. You just want to be able to troubleshoot that. You know, so those people don't, because they can come out here. People can come out here like I do, or like Jim Jones. They could be like Hitler. They show you all this crazy shit. You're like, wow, that's fucking wild shit. And then you're mesmerized by it. And then you'll, like, follow it. You'll think it's them. That's what people think. They're like, it's you. Well, it's me. And it's pretty funny. But that's what a Messiah would know, you know. So like I would see certain fruits, you know, be able to see the tree and the fruits of the Messiah off what this science is I'm trying to explain. So then you'd be able to like match it up, like, well, that doesn't really match up. So then you would be skeptical. Then you could be skeptical. It's good to be skeptical, and I think that that shows your own point. You didn't wait around in purgatory like, I'm already saved. Only God can judge me and judge that. You know, you want to be able to know what's going on. So, if you don't know what's going on, or then how can you judge? You know, there's like judgment there. Don't sit out there and lie to yourselves like nobody can judge, because then you're gonna get constrained by your own law. You don't want to do that. You know, so if you're making up laws like that, you know, you get constrained by your own law. So there's a law, and that's kind of what I base everything off of, is a foundation and a law. And if you violate the law, it'll show in reflection, shadows, relativism, futures, possibilities. And then you can start forecasting, like you can narrow shit down with it really good. That's what 5D manifestation is. It's kind of like you putting two things together in alchemy to make a third thing. It's like a trinity. Whether you're putting an experience together with an emotion to quit drugs, or quitting something else, or getting to a next step. You know, with drugs, quitting drugs, you would be like, oh man, I'm tired of that lifestyle. You have to put the emotion with the experience. You don't want to just kill all your emotions and be like, ha, I'm the good son, I'm a shepherd now, I don't have any emotions. You know, because that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other form. You want to be able to walk through all these forms. You don't want to get stuck in them. And if you do, you want to be able to get stuck in a good spot. A sweet spot, like Donald Trump's winning. And yeah, when you're in a spot like that, it's not up to the people to decide. It's up to the universe. Like, if you're syncing up with the universe. So then, yeah, you can literally have corruption sync with that, use the force, which is it, and then just obliterate people. And you'll never get anywhere. It'll be sad. It'll be a sad future. You'll go wherever they tell you, every fucking time. Don't even fucking argue like you know. I don't argue like that. I don't argue with them up there. They're up there. They're up there. You gotta respect all that stuff up there. They know they're up there. That's why they're down here doing what they fucking do. So, you know, they like connected with their God form. And, you know, there's levels. There's levels up there. And that unspeakable little fucking tricky thing you see on the card, that's like a manifestation of it. And it's manifested so many fucking forms. But that's where it lives, the macroverse. All the perfect pure base elements are in the macroverse. You can check it out on CERN. Check out the classical music notes. You know, pure base element like love is up there. God is love. We're not God. We're not love. So let's stop doing that with the carnal love bullshit. Because that's witchcraft. And we want to be aware of that. Because that's seduction. You don't want to be exploited and seduced by all this blah, 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 blah. Baby, I love you. Oh, baby, where the fuck are you at, girl? What the, you know, 'cause that's how you get in. There's signs in the beat. They're very subtle, but you can see them. So you can will out like a fucking, doesn't matter who you are or who you aren't. You know, this is how it would be for you. You'll be able to make more important life choices. You'll be able to be more efficient at things. Like, you don't have to sit here and argue with philosophers over whether someone's like, I'm Socrates. You just check the mechanics and the behavior, which is frequency. So you would just check the mechanics and the behavior. Now you want to be wise in your judgment. People are going to throw you off for, you know, out there. If you're out there analyzing 24/7, don't do that. That's predatory. I'll get you. Other people will get you. People that have a sense of justice, they're going to fucking get you for that. And, you know, that's like part of the madness that's out there. And you can't blame them for that. You know, that's what the universe wants out of people. It wants order. So you have to have some sort of order. The order starts within at the root, and aligning with these elementals. You call them elementals, I guess. If you can't align with them, then they're not gonna like work with you. You can fucking sit down here and do all the rituals you want. I don't think that's really working for people. Aleister Crowley says he got far with it. He might have, but I don't fucking know. He seems like an idiot to me. Sorry, you're not Aleister Crowley. Differentiate. Learn to differentiate within. Or people are going to know that. They're going to amp you up and pull you into the hole. They're going to be like, sir, he was fucking stupid. I can prove it. I can prove Aleister Crowley was blah, blah, blah. I can prove Einstein was stupid. And people will get so mad at that. So, you know. And that's because they can change from that, okay? You know, I used to get so mad that people were doing this and doing that. And, yeah, things still irritate me. Things irritate everybody. So we're always going to have a flaw and share that in common. That the world has a friction that shoots like a spark that can be irritating for everybody. Everybody in the universe, you know. And the church doesn't own it. The church can't, like, change that out of the universe. Unless they use like a CERN or some shit, maybe. I don't fucking know. But that's some of what I'm talking about with this inner science thing. Then your third eye views all this macroverse. I guess I'll talk some more later. Talk more later, guys. As always, it's a pleasure. Say hi, buddy boy. Say hi, man. Who's that good boy? And, alright, I'll see you next time. You see you next time, boy? See you next time.